March 25th, 2019. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. God, 2 weeks till WrestleMania. One more Raw to go. And I feel like we put more effort into getting this podcast up and running tonight than the WWE creative staff put into tonight's episode of Raw.
I concur.
Yeah, lots of technical difficulties tonight. I'm using my phone, and then Matt also using his phone. So finally got going. So here we are.
Raj, bring your mic closer. You're the one with the distant audio now.
How's that?
Much better, sir. So Matt Morgan, tonight we kicked off with the announcement that the women are main eventing WrestleMania. Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey. Their triple threat match will go on last at Mania. Twitter, a buzz today. Everyone saying it's about damn time. Are you excited for this match still?
Yes, I definitely am for the historicalness of it, right?
Yeah.
This is a landmark achievement. Again, these are one of those moments of where were you when, you know? I look at it in that type of way. Even despite them cooling off Becky as much as they have, I still look at it as major historical accomplishment and cool to be able to say we were there.
No, absolutely. Raj, do you think they had any choice but to put this on last, given how much this had been assumed?
I mean, between it sounded like they were trying to decide between this match and then Seth Rollins and Brock, and I think this match definitely deserves it over the Brock Lesnar-Seth Rollins match. That match has no heat, or very little. So, yeah, I think it's the right choice. You know, I think I'm a little more invested in the Kofi match right now, but this is the way I'd do it. You got the biggest stars right now with Ronda Rousey and Becky. Assuming Becky wins it, that's the big WrestleMania moment. So, yeah, this is definitely the right way to go. And, you know, we talked about how Becky's been cooled off, but, man, the crowd was hot for her tonight.
Yes, they were.
And we'll talk about it tomorrow night, but it's funny that on the podcast last week for SmackDown, we were talking about Daniel Bryan and Kofi and Vince's reason for keeping Kofi out of it. And we were saying, is it too much to think this is a racial thing? But if you look at the comments of our last episode, guys, I don't know if you have, our audience swings very much in that direction. So I'm excited to see what SmackDown does tomorrow night to see how, if they incorporate some of that, if they play off that, because the internet, again, has been a buzz with people assuming that angle if they don't give us some better reasoning for why Vince McMahon doesn't want Kofi in that match. But tonight, with Becky...
real quick, the WWE has ads out now for WrestleMania that's advertising Daniel Bryan versus Kofi. So you would think tomorrow night would be the night that they finally do the angle where he gets in.
Yeah, it's about time. Yeah. So Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda tonight. Oh my God. Whose idea was this? Beat the Clock Challenge. Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda versus members of the Riot Squad individually. A single member. Oh, this was bad. So we started with, who did Ronda go? Ronda went against Sarah Logan, beat her in 1:25. Charlotte Flair went against Ruby Riott, could not beat that time. And then Becky Lynch came in and beat Liv Morgan with 7 seconds left on the clock. Next week, we're going to see a 3-on-3 tag match, Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda versus the Riot Squad. Matt, are they just out of ideas for how to extend this story any longer?
Yes. Yes.
Right?
It can't be any more obvious.
I think they were out of ideas a month and a half ago.
Weeks ago. Yep.
But that being said, I mean, the crowd was hot for this. You know, Ronda got just a ton of heat.
Okay, but you can't. Let's be clear. We give them credit when it's due. They were not a hot crowd because of WWE creative writing.
Right.
Yeah.
The star power of Ronda being an ultimate B word. You know what I mean? She's being a stuck-up, snobby celebrity badass ass kicker that people are loving to hate. It's great.
Yeah.
I like that she kept putting the mic to her mouth, bursting out lines, then one last time picked it up to say she doesn't have anything left to say, just to let us know the promo was over.
It's a terrible promo, but whatever.
Yeah. But it's it's working. This whole anti-wrestling thing, it's the fans are eating it up. I mean, you should see how angry they are at her. It's funny because it's like you're buying into it.
Yes.
I'm never a fan where they're saying outwardly that it's fake or this is a storyline. But as far as reaching new fans and getting lapsed fans kind of back into it and people that haven't been following them around, I think it's not the worst way to use Ronda right now.
No, it's not. It really isn't.
Yeah, I think they just have to find some way to take this to the next level next week. So it is the main event. Tonight should have been the launching pad to take this to the stratosphere, don't you think? I mean, they should have had a hot segment, a hot promo, something. This made the rounds today. It's going to be the first ever women's main event. They're going to be on ESPN promoting this. I feel like this was a missed opportunity. Now that they're going to have that mainstream attention, if they could have pulled out of their ass another moment, like the beatdown confrontations they had, or even last week with Ronda getting dragged out by security, I thought it would have elevated this next level. So I hope next week they can seize the moment.
Yeah, I hope they can too. But I also think what's going to suck is you're going to see them doing PR appearances all together, being huggy girl power. And it's going to kill it, but whatever.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully they're on at different times. Or when they're on ESPN, is it all at the same time or separate times?
It should be separate times. It usually is separate times. It's usually a guy and a girl that goes on. But watch them mess it up. Mark my words.
It's being billed as the takeover of ESPN. Roman Reigns is also going to be involved in some capacity.
Oh, they are on at the same time tomorrow morning. So yes, Rousey, Becky, and Charlotte, and then Roman's later.
Hey,
friends.
Silver lining, WWE.com announced this today. Stephanie McMahon didn't come out to the ring, with the "we're making history one more time." Right?
Yeah.
We were spared that at least.
That is a positive.
What, that she didn't do it?
Yeah.
Right. That's usually her role, is to take credit for that kind of stuff.
True.
Yeah. So they're going to the main event of WrestleMania. Also going to WrestleMania after his 1-on-2 handicap match tonight, Finn Balor, who was supposed to face Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush, but instead faced Bobby Lashley and Jinder Mahal, beat them, and now he's getting a shot at the Intercontinental title, a rematch at WrestleMania. So Matt, what did you think of footage making the interwebs this weekend? Finn with Elias singing that Lady Gaga song from A Star Is Born.
These are the things I'm telling you about. This is where I told you guys months ago. Sometimes the talent needs to grab their own career by the balls or the bull by the horns and say, I'm not doing this. Not because I'm too cool to do it, not because I'm too good to do it, but because this does not make sense for my character. And believe it or not, writers and creative team, I'm in the business of making money. And I want to make money for you. In order to do that, guess what shit I can't do? This.
Yeah, Finn singing Lady Gaga's parts to "Shallow," and I love that song. But
are you kidding me? No, there is nothing redeeming about this. This is ranked up there with him putting on what's her name's damn ring jacket.
Well, I mean, Matt, clearly it must be hard keeping it that hardcore,
Oh boy,
and I love Finn, but I blame Finn for some of these things here.
Well, this worked in NXT though, right? I mean, I remember
when he was the demon and he was a bad mother jammer.
Okay, so when you saw stuff on his Instagram, but when you saw stuff on his Instagram, like the first NXT event I went to.
No. Yeah. I'm not going on his Instagram.
Okay.
That's first and foremost. I tune in to get my Finn Balor on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, I'm saying he can be dorky out of the ring,
Fine,
but I think
I don't have to see it.
But if you need to have him be a badass at the same time, Matt, let me posit this theory. You're a really masculine guy. You're like 7 feet of testosterone, right? It's like you do something, let's say there's footage of you, singing Lady Gaga songs to your son, or, grooving out with your wife. That's okay because it's counterbalanced with something. No one's like, oh, Matt Morgan's such a dork,
Here's the difference. Nobody's paying me to be if you're paying me to be 7 foot tall, testosterone driven Matt Morgan, then that's what I'm giving you in that venue. He was not in a venue singing to his kid. He was entertaining people as Finn friggin' Balor. Difference. Major difference.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that, but
no, it kills it kills it. And he's in a rough spot because they're booking him like crap. And He might be, for all we know, his confidence might be rattled. I don't know. He might be at a point where his career, where I remember I was, where you just shut up and do what you're told because this is what they tell you to do, versus saying, no, mother, you know what? I'm a main event talent. You're going to see it one way or the other. This doesn't make sense. I shouldn't be doing it. And then politic all day long with people that can help you politic to get it over. And then maybe the office reconsiders.
I still think, though, okay, so when he won the Universal title, he had to relinquish that due to injury. When he came back, he was in that feud where he was talking about, in the hills of Ireland and the fairy, like he was doing the damn voiceover to the goddamn Leprechaun movies. I don't think that was working either for him. I think
it was not, but this is where you need to take control.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Now, I do see him doing the demon gimmick at WrestleMania and winning the title there, beating Lashley for it. So, you know, that's good that they're giving him something.
Wait, what? He's going to be the demon?
Well, no, they haven't announced that, but I could see that because, you know, this Finn Balor Lashley feud's been going on long enough. So if they're having a one-on-one match at Mania, which they announced tonight, then I could see Finn dressing up like the demon.
Wow, I'm shocked to hear you fall for this after how many times we've been looped in and tricked into believing we were going to see the demon on that next pay-per-view, and it doesn't happen. It ain't happening.
If we don't see it at this WrestleMania, it's never coming back. We've
said this before. Somebody please go back in our annals and show me the show from it. We've said those exact words before. If it doesn't happen on No Way Out or whatever the pay-per-view was, we'll never see it again.
I wish they would bring No Way Out back. I mean, it did happen at SummerSlam, and that wasn't that long ago. That was 6 months ago.
Was it really?
Yeah.
He was the demon?
Remember when he destroyed Corbin?
Ew. Okay. You know what? I hope it happens, but I don't think it will.
Yeah, I just think otherwise this match just seems cold. You know, Lashley and Finn, they've been going at it forever.
It sucks. Nobody cares about it. And that's...
Yeah.
I agree.
Speaking of things nobody cares about, no. So Elias was in New York. What did you think of these little vignettes? It didn't seem like they were building him up because they were punking him out and making him the butt of the joke in each one of these little skits they did.
How did you feel? How do you feel like in real life that he looked like the butt of the joke, though?
I mean, it's this idea. Okay, so if his gimmick is that he's a superstar, he's headlining, he does this stuff. I mean, they did a goddamn special about him on the network recording an album. In kayfabe, they take his supposed music career seriously. So when he's there,
okay, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. That's fair then, that judgment, yeah.
Yeah, it just seemed like, okay, if you're trying to put this guy over to the point that he's the headline musical entertainer at WrestleMania, doesn't even have a match at WrestleMania, why should I care about him more when people are stealing his money and someone's putting, you know, a quarter in his cup, you know, like he's out there begging for change? It just seems kind of weird that they're torn. Like, is he supposed to be comedy? Is he supposed to be comedy but over? Is he supposed to be comedy but you're laughing at him versus with him?
You're right. No, that is confusing to the viewer. You're right. I think he's a heel now, so he can't be a good musician. He has to suck. He has to be booed. He has to have tomatoes and eggs thrown at him. Like when he plays. Like, to me that works and that's funny, but that's me.
I just think it sucks that they just got the same stuff for him every pay-per-view now, right? Like SummerSlam was supposed to be a concert by Elias. And then last year at WrestleMania was him coming out to perform, and, you know, then he ended up getting squashed by John Cena. I would just think by now you would have more for him.
You would think so. And I recall you guys trying to put it out there, might I add, that in your fake news attempt, CNN, Happy No Collusion Day. Happy No Collusion Day. Eat it, Glenn. All right, sorry. Back to what I say. What was seriously though is that you guys said he was going to come out with The Rock and perform. Do you guys remember that?
Well, that was the rumor leading up to last year's WrestleMania.
I didn't say that.
Oh my God!
I did
both of you, if not one of you.
It was probably speculated that was a possible scenario. I mean, certainly, I think it would make sense.
And you guys said rock concert. It was supposed to be a rock concert.
Be clever.
At SummerSlam, he was supposed to do one. Yeah.
Some shit like that.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, no offense. He shouldn't be on WrestleMania's card. Talent-wise, he should be. But with how they booked him, he shouldn't be.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's what I'm saying. They've done nothing. There's been no career progression for him over the past year.
And there's no excuse for it because he's on fire as a heel. All they had to do was let him do his heel stuff and stay the F out of his way. He was starting to get cheers. Just let it go. He would have been a babyface, which is what you guys originally wanted for him. Just kept him being booked as a heel. He would have gotten himself over, but no.
Yeah, I hate to keep bringing it up, but last year when he had that feud with Seth Rollins, he should have been the one to win the Intercontinental title, not Dolph Ziggler.
100%. I remember like yesterday, Raj. I remember it so well. Yes. Yep, that was his time. He needed it more than Seth did. It would have worked.
It's kind of a step down for Seth.
It is, and Seth shouldn't have been in that position. But what a great! It would have been great for old boy though to go over on Seth freaking Raw. Yeah.
Poor Seth. Can't get into this. Can't get into this match with Brock. We'll talk about that.
It's tough.
But, it's like he's in a feud against an idea rather than an actual opponent at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's problematic. The Revival versus Aleister Black and Ricochet. Aleister Black and Ricochet. Spoiler alert! If you're not caught up on NXT, cover your ears if you don't know this. So they're going to be wrestling at Takeover in the finals of the Dusty Classic. Went up against the Revival.
I heard it.
I'm wondering if they're going to be part of the rare club to get 2 matches Mania weekend, one at Takeover, one at Mania. I could see them continuing this with the Revival all the way till Mania, right?
Wow, if this was old school WWE, the paycheck they would receive for that? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think so, right? I mean, it makes no sense for them to beat the Revival here just a couple weeks away from Mania if they're not going to have a match against them in some form. Can you guys hear me okay? Or should I hold my... Okay.
No, you're good.
Yeah, so, I mean, I got to think that there's probably either a multi-person match that they're going to be in with Rude and Gable and the Revival, but the fact that they beat them clean here on TV leads me to believe that, yeah, they'll be working double duty that weekend.
And they win the championships?
Seems like place, right?
Yeah.
That'd be cool. That'd be pretty cool for them. I mean, I know they're not a tag team, but I don't know.
Well, for right now, I mean... What would you do with them as singles? So, Matt, you're fantasy booking this. You break them up. Who does Aleister Black feud with? Who does Ricochet feud with?
Let me think about this. Anybody and everybody, because they're both super over, especially Aleister Black. He is such a gimmick. I love it.
I'm going to remind you from that. A month from now, when he's in a feud with Dolph Ziggler, we're going to come back and say, was he better in a tag team?
Okay.
Well, you could have Ricochet feuding with someone like Andrade, who they could have awesome matches. He could show a bunch of his stuff. You know, Aleister Black with someone like a Rusev, or I don't know, Nakamura. You know, I think him and Nakamura would be an outstanding feud. And that would be a way to get.
Why do they have to go on SmackDown? Why can't one go to Raw, one go to SmackDown?
Well, who would they? I'm trying to think.
Ricochet.
Of who would be a good feud for him.
Ricochet matchup wise goes to SmackDown, and matchup wise, I think Aleister Black is better on Raw.
But with who? Who would you pair him against?
Honestly, I think because of his gimmick, and we get into a little bit more about his character, about his entrance, where the F does he come from? Like, where is this coming from? Where do the candles show up from? What does it mean? Where his home country, maybe his kickboxing background, whatever the hell it is that his background is. Let's learn a little bit more about him, and it could be once they charge that up a little bit, it could be against anybody for all I care.
Demon Balor would be an awesome feud.
Oh, yeah.
Then you could really make it dark, really get into the story.
But it's clear they're not going with the Demon as a regular character.
Which they really should. This Finn smiling all the time thing is what killed it. He looks like a male
fantasy
stripper.
Booking. I was asked my fantasy booking for him.
Yeah.
Let's take a moment to thank the sponsor of this episode, and that is Wix, Wix.com. Yeah. Oh my God. Creating a professional website by yourself. So taxing, so time consuming, such a burden. Aha! But not with Wix.com. Wix makes it easy. You can get started. They have templates ready to go, all sorts of different sites based on what you want to do. I used it to run a political campaign last year. Raj, what did your wife use it for?
For her yoga business, yogawithanjali.com. And so she was asking me for months to help her make the site. I was trying to find, a couple of weeks where I could do it on the side. And then finally a buddy of mine told me about Wix, and she went and did it. Within a couple hours, she had her site up and running.
You could choose from over 500 stunning templates, or start from scratch, change, customize, and add anything you want. Add your own text, images, videos, and more. There are hundreds of design features and apps to grow your brand online. You want to turn your website, have some e-commerce on there? Bam, there's an app for that. You want to be able to accept donations? Maybe you're doing a crowdfunding campaign? Bam, there's an app from that. You want to do a mailing list? There's a plugin that works with MailChimp and all the other email providers. It is really, really awesome. All the sites include built-in SEO tools, and everything is automatically optimized for any device, desktop or mobile. And you can make tweaks. You could say, I want this to look this way. If you're looking on a desktop computer, I want it to look this way. If you're looking at it on a phone, I want this way to look at an iPad. Absolutely love it. You can get the tools that you need to create the website that you want. Millions of businesses use Wix to create websites. You can instantly connect with potential customers and existing customers, manage all of your interactions in one place. They have advanced business features to boost productivity, manage your workflow, meet deadlines, build customer relationships, set up multiple payments, and more. And what's cool about this is maybe you're just starting a business. You don't need all these advanced features yet. Wix can grow with you. Your Wix account, you could start actually for free. You can get started for free by going to wix.com/podcast. Get started for free. You're going to get 10% off when you upgrade to a paid plan. And what's great about this, if you're just doing something for a hobby, I know somebody that uses Wix for their local Little League team. They have their team website set up through Wix. If you're doing something as a business, if you're doing something as a fan page, Wix is flexible and it can grow with you. It can grow, scale, and optimize your business, your projects, and be as big as you decide to become. So go to Wix.com. That's Wix.com/podcast. And you're going to save 10% off your plan. Again, that's Wix.com/podcast. Love having them as a sponsor of Wrestling Inc. I've used it. Roger's wife has used it, and you're going to love it when you use it as well. Wix.com/podcast. Save 10% off, and we thank them for sponsoring the Wrestling Inc. podcast.
Yo, first of all, that is the longest ID in the history of IDs. Secondly, Raj, what is the name of your wife's yoga site again?
Yoga with Anjali. It's ANJLI.
I always meant to ask you. I always forget. Sorry. That's cool.
Yeah. Just in a couple hours, she made that and got her own domain name. No coding, nothing.
Huh.
She hates coding, so yeah.
Remember when I used to have to open Notepad, hand code everything? It's amazing how far we've come.
Yeah.
So after Ricochet and Aleister Black beat the Revival again, we did get a Snickers commercial with Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. That was nice. They're getting that Snickers money.
Yes. Go Bobby Roode. Yep.
Yeah. That's one bright spot for the year 2019. So Drew McIntyre cut a promo, addressed Roman Reigns, talked about Roman's wife and kids. Roman came to the ring, ended up punching Drew, beating him down, and said he accepted his challenge for a match at WrestleMania. Are you excited for this, Matt?
I am excited for it. I'm excited for it because I know this is nuts. I have a feeling. I'm probably very wrong in my feeling, but I'm hoping, I think more importantly, it is more so than I am feeling. I'm hoping that Drew wins. I could see Drew winning.
Yeah.
I know it sounds ludicrous. Homeboy just came back from, having cancer go in remission. What a triumphant return. He loses at Mania. It makes no sense, Morgan. It doesn't. But it does for the sake of creating another top villain that they desperately are going to need without Brock Lesnar.
I agree. I mean, I think it would make sense to do that. So it makes him instantly. But I don't see them doing that. I see Roman winning. And especially the fact that Drew's laying out Roman every week. And I think that they're going to feel like Roman has to win. So, yeah, I'd like to see Drew win. He's probably still going to be programmed with Seth in the summer, but I think Roman's going to be winning there.
Backstage, Drew challenged Dean Ambrose to a match for later in the evening. And was it Drew? No, wait. Was it Dean Ambrose challenge? Mm-hmm. Yes, Ambrose challenged Drew, pardon me, to a last man standing match. This comes as there were rumors going around before the show that we'd already seen the last of Dean Ambrose on TV. And then we got this match tonight. Who knows if this is Dean Ambrose's last match in the WWE, but we'll talk about that at the end of the program. Before that, we got Sasha Banks versus Natalya. So Natalya was accompanied by WWE Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix. Coming out to the ring, Sasha was accompanied by Bayley. And this match ended when Nia and Tamina interfered, taking Bayley out, then attacking Banks, which made it a DQ. So it looks like these three teams are going to be in the match at WrestleMania, joined by the Iconics. And Matt, how do you think this is playing out with the women's tag division?
I dig it. I know not many people like how many multiple tag teams are in it. I do. I like all the tag teams that are in it. So I'm happy they're, again, the Iconics are going to get a chance to be pushed up a little bit.
Yeah. You think, Raj, you think we're going to get the image as WrestleMania 35 goes off the air of the NXT Four Horsewomen in the ring, three of them holding belts?
I think with the fact that Charlotte's in the match and that she gets beaten and then I don't know. I wouldn't do it. It would be like, I don't know. It's like if Brock won and then he's celebrating with a bunch of people. You know what I mean?
But this
Seth,
is
I know it's
division.
historic.
It's a terrible analogy. It's like the Red Sox. Okay, it's the Red Sox getting beat by the Yankees in the World Series, and then high-fiving the Yankees afterwards. It would be stupid for sure. Why would Charlotte? Yes, it would. Why would Charlotte? Who just lost? She's a heel. Why would she be a part of that just for a group photo?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I think it's a chance for the WWE to solidify that division. You're going to have all these people tuning in for the first ever women's main event.
I just think it makes it look like BS if you have them all hugging and cheering each other afterwards. Like, oh, we just...
Yeah, it wasn't real what I just saw. I know it's not, but still. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, her beating Ronda, that should be, Becky pinning Ronda, submitting her, whatever. Just leave it at that. The women leave, Becky celebrating. That's how you do it with a man. Do it the same.
Ronda pouting on the ramp, making that mean face.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Because like if Stephanie came out and they did the whole roses and everyone's hugging and crying, I would hate that.
Oh, I want
like
more.
They did.
Wait, hang on. I want to hear more.
Remember they did that after the Iron Woman match between Sasha and Bayley, or after the match they Triple H and Stephanie.
They didn't. Did they really? I don't remember. Oh no.
Yeah, they gave them flowers and they were all crying.
Let's fantasy book the worst scenario. Okay, so the worst case scenario is we get the whole women's division comes out, Stephanie McMahon goes to the ring, then Stephanie gives a speech, and then Vince comes out and says, no, wait a second, and then Vince gives a speech about how he was wrong to put down women all these years and not take them seriously. Starts tearing up. Thanks, Stephanie, for teaching him to become a better man, more in touch with everything. The Triple H wants to make a speech, but then it comes back to Stephanie again, and just everyone's cheering and hugging and crying, and we go off the air.
Can we have a couple of emasculation moments where Mick Foley comes out and pretends to be GM and Stephanie berates him and he runs away crying? Kurt Angle comes out, she berates him, he runs away crying. Any more berate? But here's the thing. All of that is sexist. Think about it.
That's what I'm saying.
It's 100% sexist. Why, Glenn, you had it right. Why can't it, and Raj too, why can't it just be Becky going off there, holding that title high over her head, and that's it. Because that's how it would happen when the man wins a title. It doesn't have to be this stupid rose crap, because I agree. I think that's sexist at that point.
Well, because this goes back to the Saudi Arabia thing, evolution, and whatever. This isn't about equal rights.
The evolution is that moment.
No. The Evolution pay-per-view, what I'm telling you, Matt, is this has nothing to do with women's wrestling and the WWE taking women's wrestling seriously. This is all marketing for their corporate side to say, look how evolved we are now.
Okay.
Look where we're at right now. It goes back to that famous Stephanie quote, philanthropy is the new marketing. Making social change is going to get them more press. And I'm not saying this.
But you know what, too? It almost makes them seem more backwards.
Do all that, Glenn.
What's that? No, here's the thing. No, I mean, I think
it makes them sound more backwards whenever they do stuff like that. Because it's like, it took you this long to have women in the main event of WrestleMania. UFC's been having women in the main event for years. There have been women superstars in other sports for years, and it's taken WWE this long. So
wait. I know the wrestling wasn't the same, but Lita and Trish were pretty goddamn big stars, no?
No, for sure. I mean, they weren't headlining pay-per-views, but they were big stars.
They can't go to an airport without people knowing who the hell they were, where I would argue UFC fighters, that's not the case.
Well, I mean, Misha Tate, Ronda Rousey, like the cyborg, the big,
Dude,
the
Misha
big
Tate couldn't get picked out of a lineup
dude. Her fight with Ronda Rousey was huge
because of Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, well, Misha Tate was a big star too.
She's a badass. Don't get me wrong.
No, I mean her pay-per-view buys were
the airport test. No, she does not pass the airport test.
All right, we'll have to agree to disagree.
No, look, I think
you pass her in the airport, and I hope she knows that.
I bet you more people would. I bet you more people would recognize
Misha Tate
than most of the women in WWE.
Absolutely not. No way.
I bet you. Yep.
Maybe some, but not most. I will not agree to most. No.
But anyhow, I think the women absolutely deserve this. I think they've been doing great work all this time. I think this is the hottest feud right now. Absolutely. But I'm telling you, the WWE, I mean, not to be cynical about it, but this is a cynical business decision they're making. They're doing this, I mean, partially creatively, because let's face it, what in the hell else do they got that could close the show? Yeah.
It's an exciting feud, too. I mean, as much as we get on them for it being cold because of Becky, we get cooled off and things like that, it's still the most exciting angle in the show.
Yeah, but they're going to get all this additional media coverage because of it. Fox is going to feel really good about doing business with the WWE. All their sponsors are going to feel good. Like, this is a feel-good moment that they can get behind and seem like they're...
I, as a fan, feel that way, too. I know that might not be the right thing, but I feel that way, too, as a fan. Like, cool, WWE's come around about goddamn time, but you know what? Instead of saying that, I'm happy they're here.
Yeah. So I think it'll be great when it happens, but...
You got to give Becky her moment to shine. That's it. Go off the air that way.
And that's what it'll be telling. That's what it'll be telling, Matt.
Yeah.
If it's the Four Horsewomen out there, that's the WWE saying, this is our brand. This is what we're doing. This is our women's division. Look what we've done in building.
But again, if you have the Horsewomen, then you got Charlotte, and she just beat Charlotte. I just don't like that.
Well, what's Asuka doing? What's Asuka doing in Mania?
She's probably wrestling Mandy Rose and
why?
Sonya Deville. Yeah, why?
I don't mean to laugh at that. I'm curious. I thought there was this talk that Asuka was going to do some sort of open challenge or some multi-woman match. I could see them doing something crazy like Charlotte sneaks into that match, wins the SmackDown Live title, and then goes into the main event saying, I'm going to have both titles at the end of this pay-per-view. That way, each of the four is holding.
That's not what they're doing. So on SmackDown tomorrow night, they're having Carmella versus Naomi versus Mandy Rose versus Sonya Deville in a fatal four-way.
Yeah, my idea is better.
Well, but it's a fatal four-way. What'll probably end up happening is Mandy Rose and Sonya do some sort of double pin, and they're both put into the match. So it'll probably be a three-way with Asuka. So
I will say this though, it would be cool. Call me a mark. I do think it would be cool. I don't like them killing the kayfabe, but I do like that would be a pretty cool moment to have all four women holding titles up for what it's worth. I know that sounds marky. I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, you could do you could have just all the women come out like they did with when Bret Hart.
But then here,
Yokozuna.
Yeah.
When they had them all, not they're crying and everything, but they're just celebrating.
Right, because the good guy won. The good guy who battled from all that through adversity, through rain, sleet, or snow, won, right? That's different. That's not doing it because of girl power. It's not doing it because of that stuff. It's doing it because, you know what I mean? The better
she
person
beat Ronda Rousey.
Yeah. And I think that does more for the women's movement. It does, because now you're treating it like a showcase event like you would if it was a guy.
Okay, so what's Ronda? Is Ronda going to have that Johnny Lawrence moment like at the end of the Karate Kid? Maybe the next night on Raw?
Yeah.
Pouty.
But what's she going to say? She's called it fake this entire time, said she was going up against fake fighters, and then, but you beat me? You won my respect?
No, she needs to continue to be hit. How much is her contract? How much does she have left?
That's the question.
She's got years left, but she's probably leaving after Mania to do her thing. But technically, she couldn't sign with another wrestling company for a couple years. And she's not going to. I mean, yeah.
It did leak today when it said she heard about being in the main event from Paul Heyman when she was texting him about wanting to pull an April Fool's joke next week that she was pregnant and was going to be out of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty funny.
That's where her head is at. Anyhow, so
I'm sorry.
Sasha Banks won that. That would people.
Could you imagine Becky and Charlotte's reactions if they heard that?
I just think that it's hilarious. That is where her head is at, though. For what it's worth, it's hilarious to think about that.
Yeah. So Sasha won that by DQ. It looks like we're gonna get 4 women's tag teams in a match of Mania for the tag team titles.
Yep.
Hart Foundation is going into the Hall of Fame.
Yay!
Bret Hart and I'm going to mispronounce it again. Neidhart, thank you. Again, Stein, I have no preference. I can never remember which he prefers. So yes, Bret Hart and Jim Neidhart going into the WWE Hall of Fame this year as the Hart Foundation. Good video package on them there tonight. Great weekend for Natalya, man. She's going to get to see her father inducted into the Hall of Fame. She's going to have that match of Mania with Beth Phoenix. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a really good Mania moment.
I agree. It is badass.
Yeah, I love the Hart Foundation growing up, and I like the Hart Foundation, the Bulldogs, the Rockers. I mean, Demolition.
Dude, how cool is that? You'd always see the Bulldogs versus the Hart Foundation, and like the Bulldogs would like switch their pant color. Sometimes they'd be blue, sometimes they'd be white, sometimes they'd be red. And I just remember, I don't know why I remember that, but I remember those 2 tag teams always going against each other, me always thinking it was brand new.
Do you think Shawn goes in again with the Rockers?
Has to.
Yeah.
They were they were a revolutionary tag team back then. They were.
Yeah. This is kind of interesting this year that Shawn and Bret are both getting their second inductions in the same year. You know, DX and the Hart Foundation.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
And just how their careers have kind of been intertwined, and so you got that happening.
Except Shawn will be a 3-time. Will he be the only 3-timer?
Is he 3-time or 2?
He will be 3-timer with if it's
once the Rockers happen. Yeah, then I think he would be the only 3-time. Yeah.
Wow. So
Triple H. Nope. DX, Evolution, and then that's Triple H. Evolution will be in the Hall of Fame eventually.
And Triple H will eventually, but it could be a long time.
Right.
So we got one more Monday. Who do they announce next Monday to close out this Hall of Fame?
Maybe the celebrity.
Maybe. We shall see.
Can I just say something real quick? As much heat as Triple H gets, I mean, does nobody else notice people call him a mark for himself and things like that, but at the end of the day, he's kind of taking one for the team. When you think about it, going into the Hall of Fame with DX versus himself first. Think about it. Yeah. He's giving up his chance to give his first induction speech and all that other stuff to get the group in first when you think about it. You know what I mean?
But do you think he could do it, though? I mean, it's the same reason why Vince doesn't want to be inducted until after he's gone.
Dude, I'm sorry. Hunter Hearst Helmsley definitely gets in the Hall of Fame.
He does, but how does it not look?
How doesn't it? Because he was a major part. I hated him back then, by the way. So he did his job as a heel and making me buy pay-per-view at the pay-per-view. See The Rock finally win the championship again. and so he was a huge part of that. At the first week, I remember yesterday. How does this guy keep winning? How is he the champion? We have Rock, we have Stone Cold. How is this guy the champion? It made no sense to me. But I guess that was a point, and he was a major cog in that. Think about it.
Yeah, I think with Glenn's point, with him being in the family, it just feels like self-congratulatory. I don't know. I mean, he makes all the sense in the world. He definitely deserves to be in.
Yeah, but
I just think that's why they're not doing it, is because
it's going to have to happen. It's not going to happen. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yes, but the time, Matt, if you're on the Longwood, Florida Hall of Fame commission to select people in the Hall of Fame, you're not going to go in when you're on that commission that selects people. You're going to wait until after you've passed, or until you've at least left the position.
Retired.
Respect. Yeah, you've retired.
What are you laughing at over there, Giggles? Look at Raj giggling along over there.
I'm just saying, you wouldn't put yourself in because that looks bad.
Maybe I will.
Yeah.
You just gave him an idea.
Yeah, I nominate myself.
We don't even have a Hall of Fame, but now we will.
We're going to start
create it. I'm the first inductee.
There you go. Yeah, we can all be Hall of Famers, creating our own Halls of Fame. So a moment of bliss tonight. Oh my God, why do we even have to talk about this? Braun Strowman came out by satellite. Michael Shea and Colin Jost. Long and the short, after all this awkward bullshit, is that Michael Shea and Colin Jost are entering the Andre So is Braun Strowman, where he's going to beat them up in that battle royal.
How terrible is that?
And
Pretty
really,
bad.
how much can they do physically? You got to
They
think.
don't have to do anything. That's the greatest thing. They just have to learn how to be thrown over the top rope. That's the simplest thing ever.
You could get injured pretty quickly and be thrown over the top rope if you land badly.
Yeah, it could happen, but it's super simple. Of all the things in wrestling to learn, I would argue that's a pretty simple one to learn.
This is kind of sad when I thought Colin Jost was the best one, and Michael Che were the best ones in this segment. I thought Braun just sucked. They just killed all his mystique, his aura. Alexa Bliss, for as great a talker as she is, these Moment of Bliss segments always just suck. And
they do. It's a shame.
Yeah.
Remember a year ago how well both of them were doing going into Mania?
Yeah. You're right.
Oh, yeah.
But the Bron Nicholas moment, that will be where we look back when Braun jumped the shark, was when he chose a 10-year-old for his tag team partner.
Cool.
It was when Brock destroyed him. He was hot until Brock destroyed him at Crown Jewel.
I think, Glenn, I would say, we were willing to put up with the stupid Nicholas crap.
Right.
We were okay with it because we knew he was going to be heavyweight champion in about another month's time or so, maybe 2 more months. But it never happened.
Yeah. I mean, they were in this nosedive and making him cute and accessible, and they never pulled him out of it. And so now I think we have the wreckage of that. Baron Corbin versus Apollo Crews tonight. Baron Corbin coming out, just soaking up the heat he's getting. Oh my God, the internet reaction to him being Kurt Angle's retirement match at WrestleMania. And Baron is loving it.
He's good with it. He's doing amazing with it. You got to give him credit as far as him understanding the bigger picture and going, holy crap, this is phenomenal heat. I love it. Versus the Mark wrestler that goes, ugh. You know what I mean? And take advantage of it and cries about it.
They just need to give him a good story coming out of this. I mean, I think he's the best heel on the roster right now. He just doesn't have anything.
You're right. They've got to capitalize somehow on this. And that, again, is up to creative.
Yeah. So we beat Apollo pretty easily tonight with End of Days. Stood tall. Do you think they're going to change Kurt Angle's WrestleMania opponent because he's doing this tour? So we'll talk about it in a moment. He faced Samoa Joe tonight, facing AJ Styles tomorrow night, facing Rey Mysterio on SmackDown next week. You don't have all this build-up. And again, no offense to Baron Corbin, best heel right now currently.
I do, though. I think this is the way to make up for it. I really do. I think that's why they're doing these matches. So it's not as bad that that's his last match. People can argue, but don't you remember that match? Well, that might have been his last match, but the second to last match with AJ Styles was so much better. They're giving fans that.
Which I think is great. But
all these other matches he's having, I'm looking way more forward to those than his WrestleMania match.
Yes, but this is my opinion on how they make up for quelling those fans that hate that it's Baron.
I just think you gotta go out. Remember Lollapalooza back in the day? Remember one year I went and it was Beck, Elastica, Cypress Hill, Hole, and then Sonic Youth was the last band that played. And everybody freaking left during Sonic Youth because I'm sorry, I don't need to watch people tuning their guitars for 2 hours.
Cypress Hill, but whatever.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You can't have all those hot bands before and then be in our closing act to Sonic Youth, and then you're oh, let down. I'm just saying Baron Corbin is in over his head if he's got to follow all these matches.
100%. And I would argue Kurt as well, where he's at in his injuries. Baron Corbin is not a good matchup for him.
Well, do you think they're going to have Kurt beat AJ tomorrow night and probably go undefeated until not lose until WrestleMania?
No, and that's what defeats the purpose of him retiring and Corbin being the one to do it. It's going to be what the F? 5 guys just did it the week before.
Yeah. See, I don't see Kurt losing before Mania. I think maybe AJ, it'll be a DQ or something with Orton, but
here's the problem.
I think Corbin beats Angle, and then they're going to go with Corbin and Roman. They're actually advertised for Extreme Rules, the early advertising for Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
Corbin and Roman.
And that's good stuff, but here's the problem, Raj. This is what they've not thought about. I know them enough, and we all know them enough to know they book themselves in corners. They book themselves in a corner with this Kurt Angle victory tour stuff because they've not thought about how, oh shit, what happens when we put Kurt Angle over on AJ Styles, who's got to go into Mania, or Orton, or Mysterio. These guys got to go into Mania with losses. Samoa Joe with a lot. Like, you see what I'm saying? I don't think that's good booking, number one. And secondly, what's the other option? Those guys can't beat Kurt because now 5 guys just did it before Baron Corbin, who you're saving this remarkable feat, and history-making moment of being the one to retire Kurt Angle permanently is now gone because 5 just did it the week before. So they booked themselves into a corner unless all 4 of those matches go to a draw.
Yeah, and Kurt Angle beat Samoa Joe tonight in a pretty good
Kurt
match.
Angle's won all
yes,
all his
it happened tonight. I apologize. Matches. Do you see what I'm saying, though? Like, geez.
Yeah, they had Kurt beat Samoa Joe, which I agree with you, Matt. That I wouldn't have him be beating the champions, heading into this WrestleMania. Just there's plenty of guys he can be beating, but it was a really good match.
No, he doesn't have to beat anybody. They need to save him to make it special. One more chance to watch Kurt Angle. Now they put it out there 5 or 6 more times before Mania comes. It's not as a big. It could have been an attraction of itself. Watch Kurt Angle's last match.
Yeah.
And now it's like, we'll watch him this week, then next week,
and
then 2 more times, and then Mania.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they do with it. I
love watching him wrestle for what it's worth. Him and AJ, mark my words, are going to destroy it.
Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
I'm going to argue. We're going to be talking about this. If they get time, if we can get 8 to 10 minutes out of them, we're going to be talking about this match as the best match we have seen in the last 6 months. That's how much I have faith I have in AJ pulling this out of Kurt.
Okay, so here's the theory. Raw after Mania, notorious for surprises.
Right.
Do they maybe bring Cena back to that Raw and give Kurt his technical last match there the night after Mania?
That would be special, but I don't we like that Monday Night After Raw to be the special surprise that it's a newcomer?
Cena would be pretty big surprise, I think, at this point, given how out of the loop is. No, I agree. Well, but look at all these people they've just called up. If they had any more new people to the roster,
Yeah, yeah. Now's not the time, by the way. Yeah, you're right. But that'd be cool. Don't get me wrong, I'd love it. I think it's cool.
I don't think they're going to do that, though. They wouldn't want to advertise a farewell match and then, his last match and then just the very next night then have his real last match.
That sounds like the most WWE thing on earth.
But it is wrestling, and we say so sometimes, right? We can make the rules up as we go. I throw a guy off the ropes and he actually
for sure
runs toward me, right?
But the very next night.
Huh?
But to do it the very next night, like Mick Foley, they said he was going to retire, comes back a year later or whatever. But to advertise Kurt Angle's final match, and then you have him wrestle again the very next night, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I worry about this. I worry about this backfiring. I mean, I feel like this could backfire on Baron Corbin.
Hey, can I ask the chat room a question real quick?
Yeah.
Chat room, real quick. Give quick answers. Who's better at holding their phone doing this, me or Raj?
Well, I had to get a charger, so my phone's about to die.
Wait, hang on. What?
So I had to get a charger. My phone's about to die. But sorry about the technical difficulties this week. It'll be all sorted out by tomorrow.
Paul Heyman came out, cut a promo while Rollins was saying the same old about feeding Brock Lesnar. Called Brock Lesnar a bully. I take issue with that. Bullying takes effort. Brock Lesnar does not put in that kind of effort. This was super boring, super repetitive.
I hate to say it. We all love Seth Rollins on the show. He's probably one of our favorites, but this sucks. I feel bad for him because he organically got over, right? He was red hot. And he's going against Brock Lesnar finally. It's happened. He's supposed to, win the Universal title. What a big crowning achievement. And nobody cares.
And who knew all he had to do to bury Heyman was what that little kid did, my little mini-me there in the audience that stole the show and Twitter's hearts, mocking Paul Heyman.
That was pretty good.
That's all Seth had to do. Imitate his gestures. Make funny faces.
Yeah, there's just no story with this match. And I think that's kind of hurting.
It is.
Mania, what, 11 days? No, 13 days. Be here before we know it.
We always say it doesn't feel like it, and I vividly remember it really much so last year. And me saying it doesn't feel like Mania, and Raj saying there's no marquee matchups. You know what I mean? And it feels that it's that way again. But here's what always happens, you guys: 2 or 3 days out from it, we get really excited, and it does feel like WrestleMania.
It's kind of like Christmas, right? I mean, the idea that I've certainly had years where I don't buy all my presents in advance. I'm running around like crazy the last week, but then you get to the day and you're like, oh, it's Christmas.
Yes. Christmas Eve is insane.
Yeah. So we'll be there. It was made official. People are pointing out in the chat that it will be Nia and Tamina versus Bayley and Sasha versus Beth and Natalya versus the Iconics and Mania for the Women's Tag Team Championships.
Cool.
Triple H came out. Interesting promo tonight. Got kind of dad Triple H congratulating the women for being set to main event WrestleMania and headline this year. And then just tore into Batista, reading a supposed letter of Batista's demands. But the long and the short of it, aside from that 6 Spice Girls burn, was that Triple H is putting his career on the line for this match against Batista at WrestleMania.
Well, at least Raj, you've been calling for let's get a stipulation. Let's get something that means something for this match. I mean, at least they threw that in. I wish we had more time built of it being Triple H's career on the line, don't you?
Yeah. Again, like video packages showing his career and how much he's done. Like
give
really
me 6 weeks of it.
Yeah, exactly. Like selling this, iconic career could be over, and it's just rushed. It kind of gives it away now. That Triple H is winning for sure. But yeah, again, I think it's.
Wait a minute. Wait. Why is Triple H winning for sure?
Just because Batista's not sticking around, and
but Triple H isn't an active wrestler anymore. This gives him a swan song to finally leave. No.
Do you know how much he makes as a performer per year?
He doesn't perform.
He's not retiring yet.
But he doesn't perform.
Yeah, he did. He wrestled 4 matches last year.
Right.
The Saudi Arabia show, the Australia show, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, he saw his value.
I mean, he definitely does. I just thought, he doesn't want to wrestle anymore. I figured, but whatever.
And I'm guessing he'll probably wrestle at that Saudi Arabia show again. Coming up there.
He could still be retired to do that again.
It's just so weird that Batista came back. He didn't come back for years. It was like, oh, they have to have the right angle. They have to have the right thing. And
this is what they gave him. It sucks.
Yeah.
No offense, though. I like Dave, but Dave, you've sucked. Like, he has sucked in his segments. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and this is a guy that's going to be in the biggest movie of the year coming out 3 weeks after Mania. Was in the biggest movie of last year.
Like, I don't buy his passion for in his storyline at all. At all.
Yeah. Not just that, Glenn. This is probably going to be the biggest movie of all time.
Yeah.
And yeah, exactly.
Yes,
I would just think with all his experience in Hollywood right now that he would want a stronger story going in with this match.
Or he would put more into it. I don't see him putting it into it, though, is the problem, Raj. I don't see him trying. It doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, it's been kind of, I mean, that first appearance he made was awesome at the Ric Flair birthday, and then it's just been kind of downhill since.
Yeah, it has been.
Although that Give Me What I Want segment is going to go down in history, I think. It's one of the most awkward face-offs.
Yes. Yes. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. Give me what I want.
You want
it's the most unintimidating words you could say to somebody. I think.
Yeah. And then we close tonight with the last man standing match, Drew McIntyre versus Dean Ambrose. What could potentially be Dean Ambrose, his last match in the WWE, his last match certainly on television, where Drew McIntyre, they had a lightly competitive match before Drew McIntyre just Claymore kicked him till he couldn't get up anymore.
It's great. Great for Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, I mean, Dean is leaving. I think it's really clear that Dean's leaving.
I didn't think he would, you guys. I thought that was the original plan. I thought that was the intent. But I thought when Roman came back, it would switch it around for him.
I don't believe it until he shows up on another company's TV promotion. Will not believe he is gone for good.
I agree with you, Raj. I mean, Glenn.
Yeah. Because it's too good of a story, right? Too much potential.
And this is up his alley. But this is up his alley, though, isn't it, though, Raj? To try to do, I'm not even going to compare it to a loose cannon friggin' angle. I'm not going to even dare insult it. But by the same token, I could see him trying to do the shoot angle. Do you know what I mean? The work shoot. I think I can't see him walking away from money right now, especially with Roman Reigns coming back.
But he's pretty much being put out of a strong WrestleMania paycheck, you know.
I think that was the intent.
Payday of the year.
Yes, I think it was originally supposed to happen. I think he was really going to leave, not resign. And then, oh crap, Roman's back. Well, I wasn't planning on him coming back. This just changes it. WWE, I'm thinking about resigning again. Okay, great. But unfortunately, you know, we've got our WrestleMania card now. We thought you were leaving. No big deal. Hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. He's not advertised after April, but we'll see.
Of course he's not.
Of course, anything can happen. But I think he's not.
Well, I want to know what he's going to go do. Very interested to find out.
He's going to go hang out at that Neon Museum in Las Vegas. Just sulk.
What in the
walk? Do you remember that in the...
Is that the name of it?
The Neon Museum? Yeah, I went there when I was in Vegas because I saw it in his Chronicle where it had all the old signs and he was just sitting there looking all mopey.
Yeah, that's pretty good observation, Glenn.
Yeah. That's what I thought of the entire time I was there. I was like, this place is kind of a bummer if you look at it from, it's just old signs, old trash from the Vegas Strip. Right. But yeah, with Dean, I don't know. I don't know if he's not leaving for another promotion, and I don't think they're going to be able to match the money.
No, hell no.
Yeah.
And I would argue, no offense to Dean Ambrose, he's not worth that kind of money to another promotion. I'm sorry, AEW, whoever it is. He's not, in my opinion, he's not a game changer.
Yeah, but even if money's not the same, if you got that schedule, a much easier schedule, you still get to do what you love, you get paid well, and not as
yes. But if I'm one of these other companies, we're not throwing that kind of good big.
But
money
they are.
At them.
AEW had. I mean, the amount of money it took to keep Kenny Omega away from WWE was a lot, and what they offered the Young Bucks and Cody. I mean, it's a lot of money that they threw out there. So.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, they could have some sort of back-end percentage profit sharing in private stock shares, something that would give them more upside, but in helping to build the promotion.
Chris Jericho says that he doesn't have any of that in interviews, and it was a 7-figure deal.
Well, that's impressive. Well, we'll see. It's got to be weird, though, if Renee is staying with the company and Dean is leaving. I don't know.
Wait, you said Jericho got $1 million?
Well over that is what he's saying.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Millions.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, so they're throwing their money around. Renee Young, I mean, there's so many. Britt Baker is working for AEW. Her husband's in WWE, NXT. There's a lot of wrestling couples that aren't together. So
it's true.
That's not a big deal. That's happened forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't even think we need final thoughts on tonight's WrestleMania. Let's talk quickly about some of the other stories going on in the world of wrestling, one of which being Nikki Bella has announced her retirement.
Yep.
Thanks for the memories, Nikki.
Yeah, so Bree announced it a couple weeks ago, Nikki now. So yeah, I mean the Bella twins, some of the most famous, most popular women stars of this current era. So.
They did much better than I expected them to do when John Laurinaitis was in OVW Arena and pointing to them in a a swimsuit magazine, I think it was, about these two Garcia twins that he was going to sign. And I remember we all laughed at him. Go, what a buffoon. Like, go out and get the next Beth Phoenix. Because at the time, Beth Phoenix, I could have sworn, wasn't even under a developmental contract at the time. And she was coming to OVW Arena on her own dime.
Wow.
And going to practice on her own dime to one day be signed to a developmental, I remember. And I remember, like, what the hell? You're going to sign these two chicks and not bet? You got good. What's wrong with these people? But hey, they turned into huge megastars.
Yeah. And she headlined the first ever women's pay-per-view. So, she's, they're big names and they're getting out when they're when they're still young and doing well and have their hands in a bunch of other businesses. Good for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I didn't know they're doing wine now. So they announced they're doing a podcast that's launching. They've got a winery with vineyards. Yeah, they've got other stuff going on.
Yeah,
I think they've done very well for themselves in this business.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly we're the biggest names of this transitional, the build up to where we are currently with women's wrestling. I mean, if not for them, might be a different story. What else do we got, Raj? Anything?
I think that's it.
Cool, man. Matt, anything you want to plug before we take this home?
No, I'm good.
Cool, man. Raj, what's coming up on the website?
Just tons of interviews. As always, we got another interview coming with Pat McAfee again. We got Jack Swagger. Just tons of stuff coming up this week. So we got 2 new interviews a day for the next several days. So keep checking it out. We'll have these technical issues fixed tomorrow night. So
tomorrow night, SmackDown.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles. Should be pretty cool. So join us here when that goes off the air on the East Coast, and we'll see you next time on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Take care, everyone.
Bye, guys.